Hello and welcome to Purity Pulse Podcast, your go-to podcast for the natural health industry and everything Purity Life health products. I'm Erin Macklin.
And I'm Julie Drapeau.
We're going to get going through our regular topics. We'll do a bit of a check-in. Our main topic today is going to be natural health products for beginners and how retailers can really hit up those kind of crossover customers that are maybe coming from more conventional, so that will be good.
Excellent.
And then we'll finish off with some new to Purity Life like we usually do.
So, Erin, what's up with your week?
It's getting cooler. Yes. Not any kind of big events going on, but I am enjoying the autumn that's coming in. I'm enjoying getting out to kind of see some leaves falling. I'm excited about the snow that's coming. I know you like snow too.
I love it. Love it.
So yes, maybe not a popular opinion, but definitely looking forward to the colder seasons and
that's awesome. Do you do any outdoor sports with your kids? I mean, they play hockey a lot, but do you enjoy? Because I find that most people who enjoy winter is because they do something outside.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're all pretty active. We don't let the snow keep us inside for sure. There's not specific sports, I wouldn't say. I mean, we'll go skiing every once in a while, but more it's you just got to get out there and play with it, right? My kids are still of the age where you can do forts and have snowball fights and create
so
little, twists and turns with your sled and all that kind of stuff.
I know.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Awesome. Very good.
And yourself?
Well, I'm going to Playa del Carmen in 2 days, Erin.
I'm talking about snow and you're going to Playa del Carmen.
And I did say I love snow, right?
That's good for you. And who will be in your suitcase? Because, I might volunteer.
Maybe I can find a little room there for you.
Yeah.
But it's funny every time we talk about, I like to do that once a year and treat Matthew for his birthday. So that's the time of the year.
His birthday's coming up.
But the funny thing is neither of us really enjoyed the beach. So every time we go to a south destination like that, what we end up doing is CrossFit. So we do 2 classes, and at that place they have like a beautiful cafe. So we brunch and then we go back and relax. The longest time I remember doing that, we haven't put our toes on the beach.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, you do have specific like CrossFit boxes there that you go to every time you go back, right?
Yeah, it's like a family, so we always go to the same place. Last time we even did a competition with them there. So so for those who say, "Oh, I want to go with you," I don't think you want to come with us in the type of trip we do because it's like more training, and a lot of eating. So that's about it.
Yeah, a little bit different than from what most people are expecting from Playa del Carmen, I think. A little bit different from what I would be expecting from Playa del Carmen. All right, let's get into our main topic.
Awesome. So, Erin, today we're going to talk about the natural health products for beginners. So it is not about our favorite products, but rather how people merge or come into natural products. What is the door? What are the products that they're looking for firstly when they embark in that new adventure? And we're going to visit different categories. So we're going to do beauty, wellness, sports nutrition, and also household, which are the main category where people will get into. And as a start, I would say in the beauty category, we talk often about mothers and babies.
Yes. It's often the first place that a lot of mothers, that's when they really might start dipping their toe, right? Because all of a sudden now you're talking about a baby, a very small body. Every little thing that you put on them or share with them has impact. And suddenly as mothers, we start thinking, well, hang on. I've heard there's things in this, or what else is in this, or how is this going to impact this very small being, right? And it's such a good introduction for a lot of parents, really. I mean, it's not even mothers, it's parents across the board, right? Into a health food store or into this kind of natural segment. And it's a great way to grab those consumers to really kind of grab that consumer for life, right? Because that's just the start. Now you're growing into this whole family.
That's where they're really they're doing a lot of research on what are the key ingredients, what is good to put on my baby's skin and what's not so good. And if we look into that baby categories, it's not only the body cream and the diaper cream, but it's also the homeopathic remedies.
Oh, yeah.
You remember when we look at the trends and growth and sales, and we're looking that homeopathic remedies were kind of growing,
steadily moving up. Yeah.
We did see that with COVID and the cold and flu. But when we look also at the product, I was when I was at Boiron in Lyon in France at their headquarters, they were talking about that their biggest category is actually the babies.
Right.
Because I mean, homeopathic remedies under the age of 2, there's not much product that you can give to a baby without being a problem, or could be a problem, or just for a parent to think that they're unsure.
Yes.
And as a parent, I'm sure you know that even when you read the label, you're like, well, they said 2 years old and plus. Not sure I still want to give that product. So within baby, absolutely all the, diaper rash and the cream and all that. But definitely homeopathic remedies are a big entry point as well within that category. In beauty, there's also deodorant. Remember years ago when we talk about cancer and such?
Yeah.
The aluminum in the deodorant has been a big topic of conversation. And I mean, now when you go around and you ask people what is the first thing that you've changed, very often it's either their deodorant or toothpaste.
Yeah.
So,
which is interesting because those two, both of them really, are such tricky categories to switch from conventional, right?
Yes.
Like it's very different. I think your expectations need to be very different. It works differently than an aluminum deodorant, toothpaste, and whatnot. And it can be very personal. So it's one, I think a lot of times that's actually where that consumer walking in needs that handhold to really find something that's going to be effective.
Absolutely. And we talked about that in the trends talk about efficacy. And that's why people don't get introduced into the natural products through categories that are highly demanding results, such as wrinkles and skincare or makeup for that matter. People won't start there because they're unsure of the results. Am I going to get the same results as my conventional brand?
Yes.
But they tiptoes into the, oral care because I put that in my mouth. I'm going to swallow some ingredients that I don't want to swallow. Deodorant because of all the impact on hormones and such.
Yeah. And again, both of those actually commonly, adults as well, but with kids. Right? I mean, your child's kind of starting to come of age and, we need some sort of toothpaste, but also deodorant. Yes. Right? Like that's the point where, my kid's pretty young, but they need some deodorant, but I don't want to be putting this stuff on their, on their body, and what's going to be the impact. And it's such an easy kind of transition to, I want to find something cleaner that I can give them. Yeah. And same with toothpaste, right? Like with all of the different chemicals in toothpaste, and there's all sorts of kind of, questions about what impact all of that can have and whether it's good and whether it's bad. And it's a simple, give your kids a natural toothpaste where, if your 3-year-old swallows some, you're not going to be panicking about what's going to happen. How often is that happening? What are the impacts?
Yeah, I remember, I'm laughing here because I remember I'm turning 50 next year. So it's been a while ago when I was 5, 6 maybe, and we had those great flavor of grape and all of those toothpaste, the conventional with all the stuff we don't need to, and you were almost eating the toothpaste as a kid, right? I remember my mom saying, well, no, you brush your teeth with this, you don't eat it. Yeah. So I think that definitely those categories are an entry point. Yes. Another one that is very interesting is sun care. And this is, I would say, in the past year has been more recent in the talk, and TikTok has certainly expanded that demand and switch where people will start to buy natural product through sun care protection because it's talked more and more that to prevent aging of your skin, that you need to apply sun care protection. But then all the chemicals and the bad press that the conventional has on the market really has opened up people to say, hey, my copper tone or my other brand conventional that was protecting my skin is, it's protecting, but everything else that I absorb, doing? Absolutely. Yeah. So that's definitely another one that I say that people in the beauty or category would dig into. The last one, but not least, that is certainly more recent, is perfume.
Yes.
Perfume, definitely, because if there's a category that is definitely not natural and it's really becoming very, top of mind, because a lot of places you can't wear perfume.
Yep.
People are more and more allergic. So perfume definitely is another one as an entry point within the beauty categories that you should watch when people are really into the conventional and they're merging into natural.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think something that's really important to point out is that as we're kind of going through these categories and these different products, you said this is not our favorite products necessarily. This is the products that are going to be good entry products. But it's important to remember that for those of us that have been in this industry for so long, or if you're a retailer and you've been working in the store for so long, your standards are very different maybe than what somebody just walking into the store out of conventional is. Yeah. And that's okay. We need to be very accepting of that, and also know that that product that we know is the cleanest, like absolute cleanest, best product around might be great for us, but might not really fit the expectations of somebody just kind of introing into the realm of natural health.
Yes.
And so maybe there's something that kind of rides that line in between a little bit, where it's again the better for you. It's a little bit cleaner. It's maybe not to the top standards that we've learned, but definitely a step in the right direction, and something that might be more adaptable for somebody that's just kind of coming into this natural
absolutely
life.
You pointed out correctly. I mean, there's has to be a grade within all your offer. That's why you cannot have in your store only the cleanest product, because a lot of people are not there yet.
Yes.
And we're keep pounding that better for you word. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you need to, we have a mission out there in our industry, and it's to take the hand of people who are into conventional and slowly bringing into as much natural as we can.
Yes.
But I'm sure you remember the first time that you trade your, we'll say a brand here, but a Speed Stick to a natural deodorant, and you were like, whoa, after 2 hours I stink. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, you need to try different ones, and you need to educate your customer to say, hey, the expectation here is you might need to try a couple different brands to make sure that it's the perfect fit for you, because there's not all those harsh chemical that clog your armpit, and this way it creates a lot of problems. That's the reason why you want to change, but be patient.
Yeah, and that's managing those expectations of that
absolutely
customer.
Absolutely. Very good point.
And if we bring that customer in and we try and really get them to the best level that they can be, we're going to overload them with information. They're going to be overwhelmed. They're going to be, I feel like it's more likely at that point that they walk out and say, I just can't, like it's too much. It's insurmountable where I need to be.
Exactly.
And we don't want to do that. We really want to make it all very accessible to everybody. And that's kind of
no guilt. I always say that. Don't leave your customer feeling that he's guilty of not being as good as you are with the product, because instead just say, hey, baby step. I always say, if you don't drink water, take a sip today. You're already better than you've done yesterday. So that's the mentality that we should have in store with those beginners. Get excited for them.
We want them to leave with a very positive experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now let's go into the wellness and sports nutrition. We for the audience, we're going to grab some product here and discuss a little bit. So we're starting with the hydration category. Surprise, surprise. We talk constantly about it, and the reason why it's because it is a trend, but also it is a category that everybody, conventional and natural, talk about.
And across age range as well.
Across age range. So we have different brands. We talk often about BioSteel. We do have NRC. There's the new Hydralate, which is a new brand for us in sachet as well. So again, you're talking about different delivery system, the ready to drink, the powder on the go. But this one is an easy one again for a beginner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, very simple. And the flavors are good. It's a simple kind of add into some water. You're going to get more electrolytes, a little bit more nutrition. Very simple for any sort of newbie to health to kind of add within their regular regime.
Yeah, the potion is not too hard to make. You just open the sachet, put it in your water, and you're good to go.
Yeah. We wanted to talk a little bit about probiotics as well. That's such a simple thing to add that can have such a big impact. Yeah. If you can get somebody on a good probiotic, the right kind of blend for them, thank you, the right kind of strains for them, the immediate impact can be improved digestion. But when you start kind of doing that for longer term, now you're seeing impacts on brain health and mental health. You can see it in their skin.
It's our second brain.
Yeah.
That's absolutely how we call it.
Immune. Like there's all of these. It's kind of one of those things that can just hit so many different areas. And if you can get somebody started, they'll see that impact.
And it's family wide. It's across again. It's good for the whole family.
Yeah.
And it changed habits. And I would say, again, if I think about people who are in the conventional side coming into the natural side, a lot of people take antibiotics.
Yes.
And that's a great way to bring them into natural, because antibiotics, while sometimes we have to take it, well, you can at least make sure that your gut is not turned upside down after that. And then that's an easy way. And doctors now are talking about it more. Pharmacists, when they provide antibiotics, will talk about it. So again, make sure that you have different strain, you have different delivery system in your store, because that's another good product too, as an entry into our world.
Again, meeting people where they are, if it's chewable or if it's powder, even liquids, very, very simple.
Absolutely.
And I think it's also something that is widely enough talked about and widely enough heard of that you're not going to go into probiotics and have somebody be like, well, I don't know, that's just too far. Most people will have heard and understand that this is something that is not scary.
No, and it's so funny. Again, if we go back in time, like even just 10 years ago, it was a little not fringe, but it was kind of, ooh, what is that?
Yeah.
But now, I mean,
I'm putting bacteria into my body.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right?
and talking
the
about
whole
the strain,
good versus
where
bad,
the strains are coming from, right?
Yeah,
so there's different source, but now it's no longer something that is foreign. It's just in the day-to-day discussion. So don't forget your probiotics. Jumping now into protein. And absolutely, we have Kaha Ergogenics, Lean Fit that are easy to the palate, different flavor. Again, it is known now. It is, there's many podcasts that speak to women a lot about the level of protein intake. So that's not anymore reserved to a bodybuilder that want to put on mass and being really strong and big, but it's across the board. I mean, we're talking about your kids, right? That they into sports, a lot of hockey. They can eat food, but at a certain point it's like, meat, potatoes, it's a little bit tiring, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and of course they do eat food, but you're looking to kind of, sometimes you just need to supplement a little bit with that in different ways to, and also make it easier, right? I mean, hockey is such a great example of these kids that are just on the go all the time. So that's great when we can offer those, the whole meal and sit down and have a dinner options and whatnot. But sometimes you just need to get a little bit more in the fastest, easiest way that you can.
Yeah. And let's face it, sometimes it's fun. We don't want to have a piece of chicken and rice. You want to create a nice little sorbet or
milkshake.
A little, milkshake, a little pudding, something fun that looks like a dessert, but it's your protein, extra protein. So in the store, make sure that you have different flavor, plant, whey, all the different kinds, and talk about how to incorporate protein in people's diet. So again, for our beginners, make it easy for them.
Yes.
to know how to use
make
it.
sure that they have the ideas. Don't send them home with a tub of protein and say, well, here, mix it with water, you'll be fine. Or nothing. I mean, so often they just kind of pick it up off the shelf and walk out. But
yes, absolutely.
I mean, how many people took that tub home, used it a couple times, and just sat there? And those customers aren't going to come back. So make sure that you're educating them and equipping them with those ideas on how they can actually use it too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Another main one would be multivitamins. I think that's a basic across the board,
Absolutely.
right? We all kind of are aware of that. It's an easy thing. A lot of people are aware that the nutrition value of their current food just isn't what it used to be. And beyond that, most people will recognize and will admit to the fact that their diet's just not what it should be.
No.
They're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. They're eating out a lot. They're not getting that fresh food.
Traveling.
And people understand that they really kind of need that safety net of nutrition, and it's a really easy way to incorporate that into the kind of regime of somebody who's just coming into natural health. And multivitamins are so accessible. There's so many options. We've talked a lot about how people kind of want stuff that's custom to them. I want to see something on the shelf that's for, women of my age in my kind of lifestyle, and then I'm going to feel like, oh, this fits me. Of course, this is the right fit. I'm going to take it. And those options are all out there. There's active multivitamins for active people. There's multivitamins specifically for teen boys. There's kids multivitamins. There's prenatal multivitamins. And they all come in different formats as well.
Yeah.
So you've got gummies.
Yeah, exactly. And for those who are listening and not watching the product or the bottle we're holding right now, you have Suku that really stands out, with teen boy. So again, you get your kids to take it because they see it's for them.
Exactly.
For them. And we have Active X from Platinum Natural that is really, energy, resistance, recuperation for women's, generally speaking.
And Platinum Naturals is great too. They've got ones that are targeted at stress.
Yes.
They have the Easy Multi that's a bit smaller for people that don't want to take the big pills.
Yes. And again, circle back again to our beginners, it's so easier for them because those labels speak to their specific needs. And that greatly help them to make a better decision too.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And can be kind of a jumping board into maybe the next time they're in, you're having a further conversation of like, hey, you might want to add to that into your daily, or have you thought about, and having those conversations because now they've kind of stepped into it and they're getting a little bit more comfortable with it.
Yeah, and again, to just continue with the supplement side of things, to make it easier for the people who shop in the store, you can even create like a basic regimen. What are the foundational supplements that you need to take on a daily basis? And another one that I really like that is highly talked about, cognition, but also inflammation. Do you know where I'm going? I'm going with fish oils. And again, this was, back in time, cod liver oil that a lot of people took for their immunity. But now those fish oils are so, Aqua Omega as an example that we really like and support because the research behind, and we talk also often about the cognitive health and all of those issues that are, really top of mind for people. And fish oil, I mean, it is an essential for that.
Yeah. And again, something that people aren't naturally getting in good quantities from their diet.
And the other side, to add to that, actually, there's a lot of mercury in fish.
Yeah, even if they tried to get it from
that's it, right? So you get the fish oil, but then at the same time, you get just a little bit too much mercury. So your brain and everything else of your health is not going too well. So with those sourced in the right environment, provide you with all the right nutrients. So great fish oil.
Yeah. Again, those benefits across the board.
Absolutely.
And another one that hits a lot of bases is magnesium. For those, it can help with high blood pressure. It's going to help with relaxing the muscles. It can help
sleep.
with sleep.
Quality of sleep.
Yes.
Bowel movement.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't talk so much about it, but that's also an essential. I mean, before when I was practicing as a nutritionist, magnesium was definitely a base because in our food we don't get it. The soil is deficient in magnesium. And it's a supplement that is doing tremendous beneficial for people when they come to us, for sure.
Well, and even, I mean, I'm speaking to a group of people that all know this already, but the whole need for calcium and how really it's the magnesium. If you're not getting that magnesium, you're especially as women, right? We're not going to be able to place that calcium in the same way. So just some basics, I think, that can be really accessible.
So now to wrap up that segment, we want to chat about household, because that's a big one. Such
another good one.
Yes.
For any, like for families, young people, kids, people with pets. These are the thoughts that they're having, right? Like, okay, if I'm spraying this on my floor.
Yeah, my pets, right?
Yeah.
Before, we never thought about that before. We had animals when I was a kid, and my mom was javixing, that's a new word, javixing the floor, and the dog was just behind her. It's like, whoa, now we think about that, right?
Well, and now we're making the connections, right? I mean, every time somebody sprays Windex, I get a headache. Well, there's a good reason for that, right? But for those that are used to all of those kind of regular conventional things, there are these great products that are still, so we're looking at Method, we're looking at Liquid Earth, very attractive on the shelf. They look pretty conventional. If you swap that out with something that somebody in conventional is used to using, it's going to fit really well into their kitchen.
And they work. They're
effective.
Exactly.
And they're effective. Yes. And they're getting broader. It used to be that with the natural cleaners, you had 5 choices of different all-purpose cleaners. Well, now you can go in and you have your floor cleaner, your wood polish, your all-purpose still, your glass cleaner. Like all of those options are still there.
Absolutely.
Laundry is a great one too. Tons of options when it comes to laundry.
Because when we think about it, we talk about, beauty products, what you put on your skin gets absorbed. Well, cleaner, I mean, you have your hands in it. You wash something, that's definitely harsh chemical that gets right into your skin. So that's definitely a category that people should switch.
Yeah.
And I would say my favorite one lately, and I had Erin to smell it earlier. It's the Liquid Earth Spa. It's cedar scent.
And that one's an all-purpose cleaner.
All-purpose. And honestly, if you can't afford or you don't have time to go to a spa, you feel that you're in a Nordic spa. It's beautiful. I just spray it on my shower just for fun.
Yeah.
Because it smells so good, right?
So and nice. It's coming in that glass bottle too. Very nice.
Yeah, and the pump work. I always laugh because that's always a problem too with people is the product is really doing what it should be, and is the pump working? We had issues back in time, but honestly, the companies have developed fantastic products. And
so all of these are things that somebody who's used to the conventional can kind of take home, use the way that they're expecting to use it. There's not a big educational end of this one.
No.
But again, it's going to be effective. They're going to feel a lot better about what they're walking home with, and they're going to come back.
Yes. So now let's switch gear and have a little fun with some little question, Erin. And I'm going to start by asking you, what was your first wellness product that you've used?
That is such a tough one.
I know,
because it's been so long, right? I mean, it's good to really remind yourself what it was like to really be on the cusp of this.
What about,
industry and
what
market.
age would you say?
Well, my parents really didn't get into this too much. They dabbled. I remember having a multivitamin for a while as a kid just because I was a really picky eater.
The Flintstones? No.
Yeah. Well, not much better, to be honest.
That was mine.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah. So probably it would have been when I was in late high school when I really started actually working in the industry, where I learned so much about it, and then kind of started dabbling. So I think there's simple things. I remember they had Promax bars. And I would get hungry on my shift, so I would eat the Promax bars, but they were really tasty, right? I mean, that was kind of a better option than going to grab a Snickers from down the road at whatever convenience store. Yeah. Or even, honestly, a basic supplement like beta carotene. I remember keeping on having issues with my eyes, and then what I had learned, obviously, at that time, beta carotene is good for your eyes. So I did that, and it's strange looking back now, but it had impact, and it changed. Kind of like I wasn't getting the same eye issues anymore. And I was like, there's something to this natural stuff. And it kind of gets into you.
It's funny when we think back in time, the trends too, that wasn't like pushed that much, but definitely like the multivitamins.
Yeah.
They were filled with sugar. I mean, you were taking a multivitamin, but destroying your teeth. But, you know, our parents.
Yeah, and getting like not a whole lot of nutrition from it.
No, tons of colorant in it too. They were pretty and they taste so fabulous, but oh God.
What about you? What was your first product?
I was thinking about that, and there's one, I'm sure some people will start laughing. One was called the Bowel Buddy.
Bowel Buddy. I remember those.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, in the like the paper package.
Paper package bag.
Yeah.
And not that I had a bowel issue at all. Sorry for the details here, but I would remember. It's just the taste, and it was filling, and I remember that it was said you need to eat a lot of fiber.
Right.
So to me, that was like a good way to get it in. And I honestly like the taste. So it's like, whoa, okay.
They're kind of like those dad's cookies. You know those dad's? Yes. Like it was very similar to those.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember also the oscillococcinum from Boiron, because I really like I really fell in love with that product, preventing or when you had the first symptoms of a cold and taking it. So for me, that was really these.
That's an interesting first, early on product, only because that to me feels a little bit deeper. Like that's Oscillo is not necessarily an intro. It should be, and it can be certainly with the right person kind of recommending it and knowing where its use. But I mean, even the way that people stumble over the name, right? Like it's nobody knows how to say it when they see it on the shelf.
I'm a special character. What about which natural product would be the hardest for you to give up on? That's not the one.
To give up on.
Yeah.
Like to take it up.
Yeah.
It would be a toss-up between, that's funny, we've talked about both these already. It'd be a toss-up between my probiotics and my fish oil. And I say that because, as probably many of us do, you get into these moments where you get tired of taking your supplements and you kind of, you fall down a little bit. Yeah. And any time that I drop either of those, I notice either in my mood or my regularity or my immune. Inevitably, if I take either one of those out, after a few weeks, I'm sick. I'm like, I know I need to be taking those. I don't know why I thought that I could get away with it, and just impact. And I wouldn't take those out.
And what you're saying here is really common, I would think, because everything, those are not sexy. It's not like it's a big trend and I'm taking that new mushroom and it's really all cool. It's the base of your house.
Yes.
And the base of the house is, as I said, is not sexy. So
you start taking it for granted.
Exactly. And sometimes you just say, I don't want to carry that pill. I don't want to take that white magnesium capsule. Yeah. And that's when it just fall off the trail, but then you realize, as you said, that they have an impact. Yeah. So those are definitely two that are important that way, for sure.
What would you never drop off?
Mine is a toss between two, but maybe one is not so important to my base of my house. But magnesium, absolutely. Traveling, working out, stress, all of the above. Magnesium is a non-negotiable for me. Everywhere I go, if I forget, I will go in the store, I'll buy some.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I like the capsule, and I take a lot of it. Yeah? Oh, yeah. I can take over like 5 to 6 to 7 capsules, and it's a couple of thousand every time. Yeah. And I love my chocolate latte from Organic Tradition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's my it's not even guilty pleasure because it's all, low sugar. But at the end of the day, it's relaxing for me. So that would be the two that would be quite hard for me too.
So your two, that's interesting. Your two that you can't live without are ones that calm you down at the end of the day.
That's it. That's part of my winding down routine. Yeah, it's a ritual for me. That's why it would be hard to let go of that.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. In your experience, what natural product have you found works better than conventional?
Quantum Lip Clear for cold sore.
Oh, that's a good one.
Better than Abreva.
I would 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've experienced it myself. Even my dad had cold sore around his mouth, and he used to have Abreva, and I brought him the Quantum Lip Clear, and in half the time, 50% of the duration of the healing with Abreva. Quantum was much faster. And so for me, that's really my example for that one. Yeah. How about you?
I think for me, I don't have a specific one, but more of a category, immune. Right? Like all of there's cold and flu stuff on the market in conventional, nothing, I don't know. I don't want to treat a symptom. I want to get better, or I want to avoid it to begin with. So
prevention more.
Yeah, right? Or even elderberry, oil of oregano, vitamin C, like all of those things have so much more impact than stopping by and grabbing a cold medicine. That for me, 100% better than conventional every time.
Yeah, our mentality in our field is more to support the system, not to suppress what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So, that's so true. What natural products were you most surprised in terms of efficacy?
So if we switch categories again, I would say one of the big ones in my house is the Soapworks Stain Remover Laundry Bar.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that one. It's kind of, it's a different shape from the regular ones. It's the kind of white hard bar.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, my partner does more of the laundry than I do. And
Me too.
He loves it. He loves it. Like he uses it. It takes out every stain that we give it to other family members. You got to try this. It's a good one. It's really good.
That's interesting because definitely people stay in conventional because of all the, stain remover.
Yeah.
You need something, in people's mind, you need something that is high in chemicals to be able to remove stains. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one to remember.
Quite effective. How about you?
For me would be a sort of a funny one because I rave from A&S. I don't know if you remember that one, if you know that one. So rave is typically suggested for when you do a workout and you want to have that extra power.
Yes.
To have more strength. And I took it once before a meeting and I was impressed about the clarity of mind that I had. Oh my God. I almost felt that I was seeing through people.
Do you think everybody else thought that you had the same clarity of mind?
Well, I think pretty much, It was very sharp. It was amazing. And it's funny because I didn't take that on purpose, but it was so close to my workout that I still had the benefit of the product. And I was like, ooh, this is like a special power here. But yeah, definitely and without having any palpitation when I did my workout, my legs, they were so strong. I was like going more and adding more weight and I had no end. I was like, my God, what's happening? and then the effect on that clarity.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
So yes, I was very impressed and very surprised about that product.
Yeah,
yes. So,
that's awesome.
Yes, use with caution.
Yeah.
But very good. So now that we had a little fun with some questions and we want to wrap up a little bit on the key takeaways from our discussion, definitely when we talk about people who are coming into natural and they're just starting, it is important to educate them on efficacy.
Yes.
And explain to them what they can expect.
Yes.
Not being shy about it.
Yes.
And then they come back and they say, hey, I used that deodorant and it didn't last 48 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Like make sure that you educate them on the differences and explain again to them why they make that decision from leaving the conventional to coming to natural.
Yeah,
right?
I think you can they've obviously come for a reason. So they've heard something about why it's going to be better. I think it's important to kind of double down on that, reiterate, yes, this is why it's better. This is the better impact, or this is the possibly negative impact of what they might be currently using, gently, obviously.
Yes.
But yeah, and then kind of also knowing what level to educate to. And you can use that in a couple different ways. One, that's going to be, you don't really know the awareness or education level of the person that you're speaking to. So you need to be careful of that. But also, if you attempt to over-educate them or really dive them in too far right off the bat, you have a pretty high chance of losing them altogether. Now they're just overwhelmed, they're gone. We spoke to that a little bit before. So making sure that you're giving enough information, regulating those expectations, and making sure that they're coming out with a positive outcome.
And the best way to do that, to give them the right level of education, is by asking questions.
Yeah, good point.
Because often somebody comes and say, hey, I want a deodorant, and then we start blah, 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 blah at them. Ask question.
Yeah.
What are you currently using?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Yeah. Why are you looking for something else, an alternative?
Yeah. What type of scent do you like?
Yeah.
So this way you're not giving them your lavender stick that you love so much, but they will hate it because they can't stand that fragrance or that scent, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to ask questions to give the right level of education, the right level of where they're at. We also want you to remember that it's important to meet the customer where they are in their journey of that better for you, and keep that better for you mentality. Don't sell them where you're at, but rather make sure that you give them what they're looking for and take the baby step with them.
Yes. Yeah. You can build on that.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, I think that's our kind of base instructions on making sure that you're going to be able to target those consumers that are coming in, those newer consumers, and keep that in mind. I think it's something that those of us that have been in the industry for a long time can get a little bit displaced from and forget what it's like to really make that connection with those newer consumers.
Yeah, because we're very passionate about that, and sometimes we want to convince people so much, but help them to take that baby step. And there's a lot more that will come to your store and that will recommend other people because they don't feel afraid, that they don't feel pushed to go in a direction where they're not ready yet. There's lots on TikTok. Watch out, because those conventional shoppers are definitely coming to get that change in their routine. So I hope that that has helped you to know how to
feel a little bit more prepared.
Exactly.
All right, it is time for the portion of the podcast where we talk about what's new to Purity Life. So today, since we've been talking about bringing beginners into natural health, I thought we could talk about a product line that I think is very fitting for kind of bringing people over from conventional. So Giovanni hair care, I'm sure you're familiar with. They've always had very conventional looking packaging.
Absolutely.
In terms of hair care, it really has a very similar kind of look and feel, scents, effectivity and whatnot. And they've just come out with 2 new categories within their hair care. The first is the biotin and collagen line. Very attractive. Lots of people are looking for biotin and collagen. It's kind of a big trigger right now, right? Hot points. So they have a new hair oil, new hair mask, leave-in conditioner, and then your regular, like a full-size shampoo and conditioner.
That's awesome. The full treatment.
Yeah. And then they also have another category that I think you're going to mention.
I'm sure some of you have heard on TikTok about castor oil, the regular treatment, but they've launched their castor oil in the hair care. So they have the oil, the leave-in conditioner, shampoo, shampoo and conditioner. What's really good with the castor oil, it's really meant to strengthen and moisturize your hair. So that's going to be a big winner, I would say, on the shelf. And we talked about that too in the trend stock, that the hair category, people were looking to a lot of growing or hair treatment as a routine and a regimen. And conventional is definitely very strong in that area. But again, Giovanni has that look. So when you're looking for a brand, you have to make sure that there's efficacy in that category, but also that the look will definitely appeal to our customer.
So
this the beginners, right?
This is a great one to kind of have on an end cap or something out near the front with a big sign with those kind of key points that people are hearing: the castor oil, the collagen, and kind of reel them in to try out the better for you, the natural.
And I've tried them, and they're fantastic. Honestly, they do really well with conventional hair color. They do really well. So try them and let us know.
That's it. We're coming to the end of our podcast. Yes. Episode 11, almost done. I want to quick point out, for those of you watching, you may have noticed that we've got these very cool shaker cups that say Purity Pulse with Julie and Erin. Custom merch.
I know.
Which is very kind of cool, very crazy. Big thanks to Darren at Perfect Shaker who gave those to us, and we want to give them to you. So the first 25 listeners who email marketing@puritylife.com and name any one of our previous guests, we will send one to you. Make sure to send us your address and you can have a cool Perfect Shaker as well. I should point out too, actually, this one in particular is made with plastic that's been pulled out of the ocean. So this is a 1 shaker, 1 pound cup, because for every shaker they make, they take out 1 pound of plastic out of the ocean, which is, I like that. I'm a big fan of that kind of thing. So.
Yes, that's exciting. That's fun. You'll be part of having the same shaker as us.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you everybody for listening and being part of sharing with us what we're doing and we love doing for you. Please send us comments. Make sure that you give us some ideas that you want to, topics that you want to hear about. We're always welcoming that. And don't forget to like and subscribe and send us your feedback at marketing@puritylife.com. And you can follow us on Instagram, also Purity Life Health Products LP, and your
Erin G. Macklin
and JD_Girl Power. And join us in the next episode where we're going to have some innovation and process improvement with our own Phil Bean.
Yes, that'll be a good one for sure. Thanks so much.